Hi, everybody. And in this video, we're going to be going over how to actually make daplib calls from our client application. So what does it actually mean? Well, what that means is we want to figure out how to actually make calls or send data to the blockchain from our client app. And the way that we can do this is actually pretty nice using the dapshooter layout. And so what I really mean by this in an actual example, if you haven't watched the previous video on the tribes reference example, make sure to go watch that video because this might make a little more sense. What I really mean by that is, how do we know that when we click on something like join a tribe here, how does our client know that these two tribes already exist? How does it know these are already on the blockchain? And if we even click on healer to join this tribe, how is it actually using our account to join this tribe? How is it doing all that? And how is it storing that information? You'll see that if we were to click off the client and go back into it, all that data even gets stored, right? So view your tribe, it's getting stored. And so how is it actually interacting with our daplib? And so we're going to walk through a reference example here. But before I do that, I want to actually show where you can find this daplib that I'm talking about. So you can go to packages, daplib, the source folder, and then you'll see a file called daplib.js. Now, you never have to go here. So I want to make that clear that if this is overwhelming, you'll never actually have to understand what this means. But there are some things that are set up already to help you understand what these calls are. And so in this file are a ton of JavaScript functions. So a hello world greeting. If we scroll down, there is a tribes instance. If we scroll down even more, there's a add tribe for the tribes. There's a bunch of JavaScript functions you can use to actually make calls to the blockchain. And so these functions are being called from our client application. So if we were to go into tribes.tsx, this is the main page that comes up when we actually go to our reference example here. So we can go back to the start. This is what's popping up. And so what's happening is, when we click on this button that says view your tribe, right? When we click on it, that button is actually running a script on the blockchain to get our current tribe because it wants to know what it is. And then it's displaying a healer. So what it's doing is it's actually making a call to the blockchain, and that's done through calling a daplib function. So that's the point of this video. So if we want to make a call to a JavaScript daplib function, what you have to realize is that each of these functions is prefaced with the name of the module. So in this case, it's tribes, which is the name of the module, and then add tribe. Similarly, if we wanted to call the hello world module, it is hello world and then greeting. So in this case, we are calling tribes and then get current tribe. So we're getting the current tribe for some data in the tribes module. And so you may be thinking, well, how do I know what this data is, right? How do I know what to pass into this function? And so what you can do is actually, we can command F in this file and look it up. We can say tribes current, I wonder why that's not coming up. Oh, it's tribes get current tribe. So if we look at tribes get current tribe, then it brings us to here. And what I've done is I've actually added comments above each of these functions to tell you exactly what you need to pass in. And so in this example, tribes get current tribe, data is expecting an account, which is the account we are looking at to get the current tribe, and tenant owner, which is the owner of the tenant we are interacting with. And so using these two, we can actually go back. So remember, account and tenant owner, we can go back and see, hey, these are the two things we're actually passing in here. So the tenant owner is the account that actually has the tenant that, when you click on instance. So this is the person that if we were to go to the client and go to playground, this is the person that we would run for this transaction, the instance. And the account is the person we want to get the current tribe for. And so if we pass in this data, this is an example of reading data from the blockchain. Then we can actually store the result in something called stuff, and we can get stuff.result. And so stuff.result is the current tribe. So for example, set current tribe is being set to healer or alchemist or whatever the options are on our client. So we can go here and see, oh, it is healer. So it's being set to healer. So if we were to go back, that is what this is doing right here. And so we can also add this catch error to see that, hey, If there was an error reading that data on the blockchain, maybe because they're not in a tribe, then it will set this error to true, or something else is incorrect. So that's how you call a script, which is reading data. And so again, it's you store your things in stuff. You put await, and then daplib the name of the JavaScript function that is found inside of daplib with data, and you don't have to worry about anything else here. And in order to get daplib, you have to import daplib like so. So import daplib from @decentology/dapsoder-daplib. Now, this is an example of reading data, right? So reading the current tribe. But what if we actually want to join a tribe, right? So let's go to, for example, all tribes.tsx, and let's go to an example of joining a tribe. So what we want to do here is we're going to join a tribe. So that is going to be tribes, which is the name of the module. So tribes, and then we want to join tribe. And so that is the name of this function, and it requires three things. A tribe name, so that's the tribe we want to join. That's a string, tenant owner, the account that owns the tenant, and signer. And so this is the account that's actually going to be joining the tribe. So the signer in blockchain terms is the person that's actually submitting this request. And so that's the person that's going to be joining this tribe. So all tribes. And so we can actually see that we've set up a function that we can call from a button, a click of a button to join a tribe. And we'll see that the data is exactly as we saw. So it's a tenant owner, it's a signer, and it's a tribe name. And we can get the result of this. So await daplib the name of the JavaScript function, passing in the data. And then we can store the result. And so the result, it doesn't actually have any data in it because we're reading from the block, because we're not reading from the blockchain. We're changing the blockchain by joining a tribe. So this is just simply the transaction hash. So this is basically confirmation that we have done our job and that we've joined a tribe. So these are both examples of how to actually join both reading and writing to the blockchain. And so that's how you call daplib functions. And so if you want to work with tribes, you can command F tribes and search through all of the tribes functions. Or if we wanted to do a different module, let's say simple NFT, we can actually walk through if we scroll down a bit. So to simple NFT, this is an example of simple NFT marketplace, but we could actually find a simple NFT if we were to keep going. So, if we were to do simple NFT mint or something, let's say you wanted to mint an NFT, you could call this function, and there's a ton of other functions in here to interact with all your modules. So I hope this helps. And if you have any questions, make sure to ask in our Discord, message me, or ask in the YouTube comments. So thank you so much for listening, and happy hyperhacking.